Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I am Starco Gaming and we are back with another Dragon Champion video. Guys, if you are level 15 or below, make sure to use the promo code Starco to get a free starter pack. To do so, it is pretty simple. You go in settings, use promo code and you enter the code Starco, STARKO. You press OK and you will receive a free starter pack. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the goodies. So guys, today we're going to be jumping in Gear 12 Challenge for Mr. Grock. Yesterday, we did review him as a character. Well, as a champion, we had him at Gear 13 with crazy build. But today, the build is going to be totally different because we want to make those Gear 12 challenges video, guys, for you guys to be able to complete, not just to imagine what you actually could do if you had crazy build. So basically, we reverted the whole roster back to Gear 11, and runes that are equipped are 4 stars and 5 stars runes only. And on every single characters we're going to be using in those Gear 12 challenges, so you guys can actually, you know, replicate those Gear 12 challenges really easily. And honestly, Grog Gear 12 Challenge is probably one of the easiest ones I have seen in a very long time. So the required characters for the Grog Gear 12 Challenge are the following, guys. On the challenge number 1, you're going to need the Venom Mate. So the teams we're going to be using on challenge number 1 is going to be the following. We're going to be using Zero Lead with Mordoom, Buff, Grock, and Venom Mate. Venom Mate and Grock really works well together because anybody with poison work well with Grock and actually makes it very easy. A lot of freaking debuff with this setup. Buff and Mordoom, just them together are crazy awesome for Gear 12 challenges. God damn, I'm losing my words today. And then a Gear 12 challenge number 2, we are the required heroes are Nessa and 4 Pride. So we're gonna have Nessa lead with Kegi, Vorian the Trickster, Renera, and Grock. Vorian actually have a great synergy. Well, Nessa and Vorian actually have a great synergy with Grock. And then after that, we have Kagi. Why is there? Because Kagi is great. With his stir skill, turn meter increase, that is pretty great. We could put a revolt because bleeding actually helps Grock a little bit too. But I wanted to go poison here. I wanted to go, you know, turn meter increase and all of that. So I went Kagi, and honestly, it worked much better than anticipated in this. And we brought Renera because we did not want to have a tank in the other team. So we brought Renera. We're going to be pretty much killing Renera right off the bat against the other team, especially that we have the advantage of the lead, and that's going to be very easy. So those are the 2 teams we're going to be using, guys. Before we jump into the gameplay section, we're going to talk a little bit about the team. And by the way, guys, the strategy, challenge number 1, apply as many debuff as possible and then kill the dude. And strategy on challenge number 2 is pretty simple. Kill Renera, kill Nessa, kill the DPS, then finish with Grock. That is literally that simple. There's no special trick to beat those Gear 12 challenges. Those are very easy challenges. So we're going to start here talking about the team. So we have a total of 9 characters we're going to be using. So let's go through the build of all those characters. First, we have Mordoom. Mordoom is running with 6 Potency runes, running with a 5 stars artifact. What's the name? Rose of Hope. Obviously, on your account is probably not a 5-star artifact, but you probably have some gear equip into Gear 11 too. Maybe probably having a Gear 12 or Gear 13, so that kind of make up what the artifact we are using. Obviously, stats wise, guys, it's pretty simple. We have 243 speed. I recommend 220 speed plus. Over 100 potency is what I recommend. Technically, you probably want to run a potency artifact with this dude. That'll be much better. And those are actually the stats that matter on this dude. The next characters, we have Buff. Buff is pretty simple. Artifact, you want to have the Potency artifact. He now has a level 7 leadership. We're going to put that there for future videos, I guess. Anyway, we have a 18% potency artifact. We have 6 potency runes. Technically, you don't need that. You 2 potency runes with 4 speed, usually what you need. But apparently, I was struggling getting the potency up, especially that we don't work on blessing on. I haven't worked on blessing on the test server, so that kind of make up for it. The stats are pretty simple. It's going to be potency and speed on this guy too. You technically want him to have 240 plus speed. If you can, that'll be the recommended, which I do not have on this account, obviously. And you want him to be around 120% potency, which is again something we don't. So we have him at 219 speed and 96.88% potency, and still is gonna get the job done. Next characters we have is Renera. Renera, the build don't really matter. You just want her to survive to be able to apply that AoE heal after the first turn. And then after that, if she dies, yeah, you don't actually give a crap. So as fast as possible is pretty much the only thing you want. But if you actually build her, this is definitely, well, the build here is okay. You know, 4 speed to tenacity, that's okay. But artifact-wise, that's definitely not the artifact to go with. You want to go damage percentage with either tenacity percentage or shield percentage. The stats you want to be running her with is 220 plus speed, and that is pretty much what matters on her. And the next characters we have is Zira. Zira, you can see the build on this account is terrible. And by the way, I think every leader now have a level 7 leadership now, if I'm not mistaken, which is actually pretty awesome. So basically, Zira is as much speed as possible, as much speed and as much tenacity as possible. So not tenacity but potency, sorry guys, mixing my words here. So as much potency as possible. You kind of want to have a Zira over 120% potency. You're gonna see challenge number 1 or debuff failed, but also the fact that we were running with no other orc, well, only one other orc on the challenge we use her definitely affect a lot of the you know, the debuff we're going to be applying. Runes, you want to have 4 speed and 2 potency or 6 potency. Like me here with 98% potency, I should actually went with 6 potency, but that's not what we did on this account, obviously. Stats wise, what we're running with is 246 speed and 98% potency. It's really potency and speed that's going to be important on most of the characters on this challenge, guys, because yeah, sure, damage is great, critical chance is great and all of that, but it's really about applying as many debuff as possible on Grog to actually survive as long as possible. That's kind of the key. And next characters we have is Nessa. Nessa is going to be speed and potency. You want her to be able to apply her debuff, but also you want her to be as fast as possible. Here we don't have enough potency, but we do have a 36% potency artifact, and we do have 4 speed and 2 potency runes, but we have very high speed, so we could have traded the speed set for potency set, but it got the job done, so I'm not really worried about that. The stats we have on her, what is important in speed and potency, with 264 speed. Again, 220 speed is a recommendation on characters, usually for Guild 12 challenges. And 85% potency, maybe having that over 100 could actually be useful, but because of her, you know, her skills, like her passive ability, you know, she actually not passive. I thought she was getting potency somewhere. Wow, sorry guys. She does not get potency anywhere. Anyway, the 85% potency actually got the job done, so I'm not really too worried about the build here. After that, we have Grog. Grog is going to be built for speed and potency because it's all about the debuff he can actually apply, as you saw in yesterday's video. So we're going to go with the potency artifact, 18% potency here. We have 4 speed, 2 potency. The target is, as always, guys, 220 speed, 100% potency. That's the target we want to reach, which it's what we basically reach on this build. Really easy build. Then the next characters we have Warren the Trickster. I know a lot of people underestimate this characters, but he is amazing. More poison you have than target, more damage he does, and he can actually do a shit ton of damage if you play him in a poisoned team, as we saw him in the past. But we have a future video that's going to be coming pretty soon about him to actually showcase how freaking powerful it can be with the proper build. 4 speed, 2 potency runes, potency artifact. The stats that's going to be important, guys, it's potency as high as possible, 99% probably not enough for him, you know, in the long game, but for Gear 12 challenges is good enough. See, 220 speed, 99% potency, kind of the pattern we actually follow. And the last characters I believe we have to talk about is Venomate. Venomate is going to be pretty much similar to the other characters, as much potency as possible. We have a terrible setup on him, so the speed, we do not have the speed on him, but it does not really matter. He gets the job done no matter what, guys. Max, you know, as much potency as possible, as much speed. Man, I repeat myself a lot, but those are two poison teams we actually build. So, you know, when it's based on debuff, on poison, on bleed, or on turn meter reduction, those teams, all they need is speed and the potency. Here you can see we are lacking the speed, but we do have decent potency, 100% potency. So that's kind of the build we have. You can see no crazy build. You have a few 5-star artifact, but mostly no crazy build. And those are the builds we actually have for that. So next, guys, are going to be jumping into the gameplay section. Let's make sure we forgot Kagi apparently. So we're not going to be jumping in the gameplay section. Good thing I checked. So Kagi is going to be the only characters we're not going to be building for Potency, because Potency is useless on him. So we're going to be building him from critical chance and critical damage to maximize the damage output is going to be doing. So 2 critical chance runes, 4 critical damage runes, and then we have a 24% critical chance artifact. Obviously, it's gear relevant, so we don't get the full output of critical chance, sadly. When we get him at gear 13, gets a lot more powerful with this setup, but still, and then we want to have as much speed as possible. 220 speed is usually a requirement. See here, we only have 56% critical chance, but when he critical hit, that will give him a great damage with 182% critical damage. So that's kind of the build. So guys, for real now, next we're going to be jumping into the gameplay section. The gameplay section was pre-recorded, so you guys can enjoy it. Like I said, the strategy is simple. Challenge 1, apply as many debuffs as possible, so it doesn't Grog does not restore shield, you know, too much shield. And then challenge number 2, kill Renera, kill Nessa, then kill the DPS, then kill Grog, and it's gonna be a GG really easily. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of my amazing community. You all keep enjoying playing Dragon Champion. You all enjoy the gameplay section, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Thank you.